What's going on? Yo, it's Chase Mo Reviews here, back at it again with another video. This time, happy to bring you guys a battle review. In my opinion, the battle of the year, and I have so many things to say that I want to get into with this. And I will be covering A Ward versus Rum Nitty. That is the battle that I'm referring to. And just a lot of exciting things. But before we get into that, obviously, the passing of Pat Stay recently. Rest in peace, Pat Stay. Tragic incident. You know, we lost one of the pillars and one of the greatest to ever grace our culture. And more than that, we lost an even better man and an amazing father in the process. Extremely humble guy. Got to see him perform at the Drake card. Every interaction you could just see from him around. Cool dude. Obviously, was great to see him battle real sick. And he's provided us countless classics, comedy, even his little skits and viral clips outside of the realm of battle rap were always entertaining and a very positive force. I believe in, positive energy forces and positive people, a really special kind. It's hard to find someone that could try to make anyone laugh and try to, find some peace with them. And he was just a good dude all the way around. So I'm glad. I feel like a lot of people appreciated him when he was here, gave him a lot of love because that's the energy he put out. And I feel like in his passing, we're seeing a lot of that. Lots of celebrities, I believe Eminem, Sanaa Lathan, a couple just all from all around, Royce da 5'9", from battle rappers everywhere. And I want to say my piece that, Pat Stay, I'm very grateful for him sharing his talent and passion and energy with us. A great human that decided to take his life and dedicate it to this culture. So just wanted to get that out there. Rest in peace, Pat. We all loved you, man. And without further ado, rest in peace to him and into this battle review. So as for A Ward and Rum Nitty playing as the main event for the Riot's Cane Bearing Gifts card, obviously a few battles were missed. Clean versus Snake didn't happen because Clean had a flight issue. Swamp versus Chef Trezeguet canceled ahead of time due to Swamp prepping for Tay-Rock. And the event had a 3-hour delay, so when I bought my pay-per-view, I actually fell asleep for a while, woke up. Thankfully, I hadn't missed many battles. I did end up missing the first few, which means when I tuned in, I caught the end of Clone and Dev. Pretty good battle. I had Clone taking that 3-0, different pockets, different flows, and shout out to him for that performance. Dev's got the Hitman House coming up. A lot of stuff coming up for him that's good. And Fonz 30, real name Brandon, next to Mac Myron was a okay debatable. Some things that I kind of saw coming-ish. I think the next battle is more edged towards him, but this event was all about Nitty versus Ward, and I believe this is battle of the year off rip. And we're just going to start with Rum Nitty's first. This is going to take me a while to break down because I believe at this point, this is clear round of the year. I've not heard a better round this year. Starting off with the freestyle about the carousel in the background. We know that Nitty talked about how he was going to do more freestyling, so it was it didn't really hit. I'm going to send you to the gate A, and it's going to be Terminal 2. That was fire. So off rip, that was the first heavy bar to hit. And slash, take a blade, N/A, he's not available, N/A, like on your calendar. That was crazy. My only target is the paper, like the gun range. Smoke you, turn your bitch into a white widow. It's a bud strain. Whip a horse in the grill, all crazy. It's a Mustang. Nitty caught so many pockets here, and one thing I'm seeing a lot of Nitty fans hyped about, and I think that he's obviously had a great 2021. Had a downer. If Nitty's had any down year since he stepped on the URL, it would be his 2020. And this year's had a decent year, but he looks like he's really back to rapping. Like pure rapping, catching cadences, and I believe he even just tweeted, Rapid Fire Nitty is coming back, so great seeing that. The bud strain, whip him in the Mustang, that was fire. Revolver dump and hold the shells, it's a noodle strainer, that was fire. So we're getting a haymaker. It's looking like a special Rum Nitty first early. Let it bam by the leader, Zulu Nation, African Bambata. That was fire. He had a bar about red after one round. The hoarse voice deactivated, like red, something like that. And then he gets into craziness. Steph Curry, he goes night for sleeping on the hands. I'm a Celtics fan, so it hurts to hear that bar. But the Steph Curry celebration. Then he is the NCAA scheme, which I can't even break down for Penn. Duke, Hoosier, teammate, the Razorback NCAA. That was crazy. And then the part after where someone had to volunteer at the Wake Forest man's, because that was one of his boys involved. Man, it was some next level scheming. Goes to show that on a written level, not just punching, this man is one of the most gifted writers in the history of the game. Just a special bar. And then after that, broken wine bottle upside in his head, break the glass, and leave a Chardonnay. Probably the best quotable he has from this battle. I mean, that one's filed right into the Nitty all-time folder. And then he had the whip, you get whipped, toe up, one other one. That was a triple A. At this point, it's really just overload. He just catches between the writing, the way that he's performing it, which I'm not gonna have clips in here. Do that's a fresh battle. I'm gonna wait for it to drop on YouTube. But Nitty's performing his material with confidence, the flows, the cadences, the pace changing. It just looked like someone 100% in their bag. This was a 10 out of 10 Nitty, and this first round just shows it off rip what we were about to deal with. So after landing the NCAA and Chardonnay, which really made this round almost just unfair, he lands the AAA. He is the Orphan scheme, the Future Song scheme, both of those. And I'm not even one for scheming. I think it's, as time has went on, if you're going to scheme, it has to be great, it has to be original. A lot of schemes have become kind of OBC. And this is just a whole different level of writing. And then I know for those of y'all that wanted to see Aaron live, he was shot previously. Jesus, man. This is an unbeatable first round. That's how I felt watching it live. And that's how I felt on the watch back even more when you're able to catch every reference of each scheme, just the way that he paced it, the way the aggression, everything here is 10 out of 10. This wasn't just an amazing punch-out first round. This was just an amazing all-around first round from Nitty. And Ward's first is good, too. He has I'll give this C-38s, the rebuttaling to the airport terminal, which I thought was dope. I met some strippers, Tiffany, Aries, had to get them canceled. Obviously, because of the Tiffany Haddish and an Aries Spears skit, which was absolutely disgusting, by the way. Yeah, we got to get them out of here. And the rebuttal was fire, too. 100 cup. They didn't even know when I stepped in. I put 100 in the tip cup. Fire. He's an angle about splitting the money with Geechee, which I figured that he might take something like that. Usually when there's a big impactful moment, there's a way to flip it. I didn't really get that one saying you owe your life to Bay, this and that. Just didn't hit for me. Gishug ain't do it. Geechee ain't do it. Did a flip of the Easy song on him, so I thought that was dope. Then even touches on the twerk situation, a lot of angle punching. We knew that Ward was going to come with very tailor-made material. Talking about the twerk situation, said, don't tell me the great Rum Nitty forgot how to punch in that moment, and then even does a Nitty impression about the name flip. So Ward has a really good first from the rebuttal to even some of these bars in here that are decent, but it was just impossible. Got to speak to Ward to himself after the battle in the radio roulette. Shout out Let's Talk Battle Rap as always. Got to kick it in there as I usually do, and Ward was able to come in. And even he talked about it, how he said, they asked him what it felt like sitting in front of that first. He said, I knew what dying, it felt like what dying feels like. And he says one of the first times, if not the only times in his career, that he saw a round that he just did not think he could beat. So even though it was a great first from Ward, it was an all-time great. One of maybe the 5 best Rum Nitty rounds I've ever heard, and it was Rum Nitty 1-0 clear going into the second round. And then to start right into Rum Nitty's second, and like I said, I can't wait for this battle to come out to the public, because no matter how much I try to highlight the bars, the bar for bar, I've watched this battle 3 times. I know there's still more for me on the rewind and find, really from both sides, and especially on Nitty's side, just such a well-layered. I mean, it's always layered, but man, the writing here was different across all 3. So he has a main off a horse bar, that was fire. I'm a sinner. I'm just being forward like Kevin Durant. Thought that was dope. Ilmac 30 Jew Ward, is any of this getting to you, or am I just beating a dead horse? And he cut off before he said horse. So a little bit just off rip, punching back to back, and none of these are maybe the same haymakers as before, but these are quality punches, just picking up where he left off. Shaq Shoes, you're selling your soul. Fire. I'll give you 3 rounds respectfully, like a compliment battle. This should be your last name in the first place. About battling big names, should be your last name in the first place, like Carmelo Anthony, which was fire. And then he gets into possibly my favorite sequence of the battle. He does a 4 horseman scheme of the apocalypse. So you'll go from being the white horse to seeing the pale one. Disrespectful. I'll shoot a Christian with a nail gun. Jesus Christ, man, that very extremely disrespectful. And still a good bar, but I don't think we see Nitty. That's just upfront disrespect and the way to bring the nail gun, Jesus on the cross into it. I just thought that was a good twist. They said nothing stopping the horses. I said, whoa, slow down a minute. That was fire, the way he performed it. Another haymaker, just peak Rum Nitty. Steal will give his life to God, like Boot Gang, that was fire. You'll get washed up in the third ward like a Katrina victim. I think Clean's had a very similar bar award, but that was fire. How's a sports horse supposed to eat without haymakers? Just bars after bars. I'll let a lot of people catch it when they watch it. And Ward, something very smart, jumps right in as Nitty's ending his round and kind of yells through. If you want an example of it, look at Twerk's first, the way he performs after Nitty in their battle. Twerk's first following Nitty's first. He yells in, again, gets a rebuttal off real quick, said there's no haymakers. Well, this performance is all for all the naysayers. I like that. That is his best rebuttal of the battle. And something I noticed that he tries to rebuttal all the bars. You hear him mention a lot in the setup. But something with Rum Nitty is that there was just so much potent material that it was so hard for A Ward to just sit on one of his best bars. Like, he usually can do it on an opponent's round, just take clearly their best bar and flip it. Nitty just had too many of them and too layered. And as great of a rebuttaler as he is, Ward flexes how amazing a rebuttaler he is, best in the world right now. In this battle, Naysayer's rebuttal is a haymaker, but every round, people might have expected 3 haymakers to start. There was just so much content that I feel like he almost got a little bit lost trying to rebuttal everything. But it doesn't change. He has great approaches in this round. He's a cartoon scheme about all these cartoons Nitty is, and then he said he thinks he's Groot because he's a tree. Geechee hides behind him, and he only says one thing. Like Nitty, only says gun bars, Groot, I am Groot. Thought that was fire. That was a sneak haymaker. The Metal Arm Toy Story bar was dope. And he even had some cadences and flows similar to the Reed one in the second round. Just catching, not even about the content, but just about the really great rapping. And Ward's second is really, really dope, guys. I mean, Ward was killing it this battle. How you live a double life and you're broken both. A no let up bar. It was a no let up Paul Bearers flip. Don't say no let up, Nitty, because they're going to let you down. And a lot of people were saying the second was debatable. I edged Nitty the second live. And I will say on the playback for me, I just thought it even looked like there was more of a gap. I'm not going to call it clear quite like that because I think that Ward had a lot of amazing content. I think preference plays into this a little bit, but I personally had Rum Nitty edging the second and being up 2-0 going into the third. And as we move into the final round here, the third round, Nitty goes off again, has possibly his best rebuttal of the battle. Nitty did rebuttal here and there. None of them were too crazy, but I thought this one was the best one in that direction in terms of getting towards a haymaker. Talking about the naysayers, and then he said when he drops the body off, he's going to be the needle in the haystack. I kind of like that. I thought that was a pretty dope concept. Even though it didn't land crazy, I thought it was decent. I got 1 dot for A, like I'm teaching Braille. So we're right back into ridiculousness. I can leave Earth in my sleep like Steve McNair. Jesus, man. Make it break out his chest. That's what they seen from the alien. The alien seen the chest poppers. Seen Smack at last time they seen Smack at A Ward show. It was Jada's fault. Thought that was cool. You know what I noticed, Ward? Every time you battle a white boy, you can't use the white card. You die, A Ward. Now, while he didn't really do much on that, he really just touched on the topic. I thought that was an interesting topic to touch on. I think like the Ilmax kind of tend to give Ward more of an issue, those more rap-based styles. So I thought it was interesting. He didn't really get into it, so I don't give too many points, but I thought it was an interesting concept to bring up. He had a color scheme. I'll choke you teal, you're purple and blue. It was pretty dope. Give him give A1 up front. It's a first class C, clever. You telling me all your material self-defense, A Ward? Talk about A Ward fighting his material, which was funny. Like I said, in terms of all-around performance, this might be the best Nitty performance in terms of all-around game. People talk about, oh, he can't angle, he can't do this. He angle punches here. Doesn't get into full angles, but touches on topics. His performing is great. His writing, not just on a punch level and haymaker level, but on a scheme and layered level. I just think that he covers so much ground in this battle. And he catches fire at the end here again. He is the Django bar about the riot situation and Ward being under contract, which was a super haymaker. And then he gets into an amazing piece in this third, his lead up about most feared in battle rap. That's a fact. You can't get champion when top opponents duck you back to back. And I'm left with bench warmers that with half the name and half the stats. And that's where you come in. I'm Strat Fam, slot 50 in the machine. It looks like a CAT scan. Jesus. Another amazing part here, the part about ducking, obviously airing his frustrations, using that lead up and momentum into a performance haymaker, just doing it right. and was one of the last great bartenders third, and gets on to Ward's third, which is probably Ward's best round. He rebuttals the Steve McNair. This Tennessee Titan is making sure y'all never get this quarterback. Rum Nitty being fourth quarter. That was fire. Right up there with the naysayer rebuttal. And then touches on the same topic Nitty did about URL coming to an end and Nitty taking back-to-back battles. Like I said, I'm not going to break it down word for word. It was a lot, but both of them had really great takes on the topic. Thought they were amazing approaches. And then Ward's is this where Mr. Copy Respect comes to an end? Wait, did we just become best friends? Even Nitty gives it up, hugs him. That's a haymaker, obviously, with all the hate Ward gets for not being on URL, which is silliness. Ward's one of the best in the world. It's not much of a conversation with or without URL at this point. He is a rapping in reverse. We know he's able to rap a 16 forward and rap it in reverse. Another crazy haymaker. Cannabis notebook bar was dope. Turn a butterfly into a star like the game tattoo. And then the alternate. It's a whole angle about him being the alternate form of Geechee. That Geechee always gets the praise. An angle I think people should touch on. So I think the third is the closest round. I love Ward's approaches. I think it's a very debatable round. But me personally, I still edged Rum Nitty. I called this battle as a gentleman's 30 for Rum Nitty. And I would hate for people to get the wrong expectation for that. I still believe this battle is a classic. It is the first time this year I felt like we had an instant classic. And I was able to give Ward his flowers on the spot. I think his material here is some of the best of the year as well. Especially in the third. If you are one for substance, I can understand how you give Ward the third. It is a very substance-filled round. Like I said, the alternate multi with the Geechee Gotti angle, the only time you'll be champion is when you'll have a champion belt, when Geechee hands it to you before a battle. I think he got into some real good angles there. The punching in reverse, he flexes what we want to see from Ward. But specifically in the first two rounds, he just ran into a special writing at his specialist level. When I see the first round, like I said, it's just one of those, like, Nitty's first right now is the round of the year, in my opinion. And it's just one of those things, like, what do you do? It's not much I could say about Ward in the first. And in the second round, I just feel like he had more. And then, like I said, the rewind and find, like, when you look at the Four Horsemen, the Conquest War, Famine, Death, that whole, and the way he rapped it, very, like, cadence, built it up to a haymaker, performed it. It's just hard for me to give Ward one of the first two rounds. And as for the third, like I said, I think that's the closest. I changed my mind on that one a little because I thought that Ward's substance really was up there. Nitty's third was crazy too, though, so I think that round is super duper preference, and I just edged Nitty the third. So when I have Gentleman's 30, very similar. We've seen battles like Surf versus Geechee Gotti, where Geechee was amazing, but there's a lot of people that give Surf all three on just an edge, and I think this is one of those battles where that's just where my take is on it. Like I said, second, I think the first is the only clear round of the battle. Second on rewatch is definitely more of a gap, but Ward was incredible. I want to take nothing away from him. I think both of these guys shoot up kind of the champion of the year rankings with this. The hype was battle of the year hype, and they delivered. That is a very hard thing to do in this culture. So just shout out to both of these gentlemen. Appreciate them and the work that they give us. This was a classic, and I can't wait to see how both of these super talents end the year. And I just can't wait for you guys to see this battle and discuss it with me. So like, comment, subscribe, but definitely comment down below. Let me know who you had winning the battle. I know me saying that I gave Nitty all three looks crazy. I promise I extremely appreciate Ward's material. I just thought Nitty came with a little bit more every round, which goes to show if I get Nitty kind of having a win like this against one of the best in the world, bringing a best performance. This is a special Rum Nitty performance. We talk about the top 5, top 10 Nitty performances. This is definitely one that instantly gets a mention, and we'll see. We have a lot of super matchups probably before the end of the year. I think Easy versus Cal is a shot at Battle of the Year as well. But for right now, this is the first classic, I believe, of the year, in my opinion. And this is the best battle that's went down this year. Shout out to Rum Nitty. Hope. And I want to see, before I head out here, I want to say Nitty versus Calico. I want to start talking about it. We talk about God tiers. Cal is someone who doesn't duck. And post Easy, I think we got space for one more battle in there. Would qualify him for Cody. We'll see. That's a big challenge for him coming up on SM. But Calico versus Rum Nitty on Volume 10. You guys let me know what you think of that matchup. I think that would be a perfect matchup for both of them. Ending the back half of the year. Helps both of them in the Cody strengths. And overall, battle rap's the best when the best in the world are going at it. This style clash was a classic, and I hope that one would be too. But great battle, and like I said, just can't wait to see where we go from here. Rest in peace, Pat Stay again. Love you, brother, and shout out to his family. I'll have the GoFundMe in the description for you guys to donate, support his family in this time. And it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all, and I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace. Peace.